Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to the second episode of the Crappypasta reading. Today we're going to read a creepypasta named Super Mario 62. My name is Jonathan. I'm an avid collector of Nintendo games, be it Legend of Zelda, Earthbound, or Pokemon, but my all-time favorite games were the Super Mario games. I had every Super Mario game, ranging from the original game to Mario Kart, Super Mario Galaxy, whatever, except for Super Mario 64. I had a copy, but from decades of heavy use, it was utterly decimated. I needed a new copy of Super Mario 64. I looked out the window and saw that someone down the street was having a yard sale. My interest was piqued when I saw that there were many classic retro video games for purchase. I decided to try my luck. I browsed around the yard sale for a minute, taking in the signs, until I finally saw a copy of Super Mario 64. The game was in horrible condition. The label had nearly been peeled off, but I could still make out the Flying Mario and the title. The title looked the same, except somebody had written over the 4 in 64 with a silver sharpie, so it said 62 instead. I opened the container. Inside was a note with very little on it. The note looked pretty old. It said test version of Super Mario 64 nearly completed. I have a few bugs to sort out. Psst. Oh no! Psst. I forgot the... See, there were chew marks on the bottom of the page and a little bit of dried something. I couldn't tell. I was a little weirded out by this note, but then I saw the price tag, only 2 cents. Oh, that's a steal, honestly. 2 cents for a game? That's a good offer. I rushed to the man in charge of the yard sale. He was very old and he was leaning on a walker. I told him I would like to purchase the Super Mario 64 game. He didn't respond and he had a frightening look on his face. A drop of sweat rolled down his forehead. Finally, he said, "You can have it for free." I was starting to get the message that there was something wrong with this game. But foolish me, I played it anyway. After all, what's so harmful about the game, right? Wrong! Well, there were some red flags, to be fair, like the message, the old scary and creepy message. I guess it's not really creepy, but kinda odd. And the guy that was selling the game being scared of it, even if he put it out on the sale. I plugged the cartridge covered in what appeared to be teeth marks into my Nintendo 64. Oh, that's odd. The game started up like normal. I pressed start and was taken to the Mario face screen. The game is surprisingly working, even with the bite marks. The Mario on the start screen had a large, exuberated grin on its face. Its eyes looked like a little infected, and his mouth was completely black. That's not a good sign. I was a little unnerved by this. So I tried to change his face, but it wouldn't change. I pressed start. Mario was in an empty room made out of wood, with a large steel pipe through the middle and a single door. He was facing away from the camera and there was a star over his head. I tried to jump and get the star, but it follows Mario's motion. It must have been some sort of odd glitch. Sounds legit. I made Mario turn to look at the camera. Suddenly, everything on the screen turned to a shade of ruby red. The static was horrible and the image was glitchy. More horrifying, however, was Mario. He had glowing orbs for eyes that had blood pouring out of them. And the star above his head had the same eyes as Mario did. Mario was making the peace sign to the camera. Above him, the lives meter has been replaced with a skull, times, and an illegible number. Well, that escalated quickly. He turned around again. The screen became non-statically, and everything turned back to normal, except for the star above Mario's head. The door opened and Toadette came walking through it. Mario looked at the camera. At this point I had completely lost control of him. For a brief moment and the static returned, and then he rushed to death. The screen went entirely red except for static and various stamping sound play. The first sounds that I had heard throughout the entire game. Finally, the screen cut out to a shot of Toadette facing away from a camera with a star above her head. Then Mario rushed the camera and cut it to black. Suddenly, I had a horrible headache, as if thousands of thoughts were simultaneously trying to burst from my head. I heard screaming voices and static and a horrible demonic laugh. Wow. I woke up in the room. My entire body felt like it might crumble apart at any second. Then I realized I was in the room that Mario had been in, that Toadette had been in, and I turned around. I was greeted by a sign of at least 10 other people. If you can call them people. Their bodies were smoldering, rotting, emaciating. They all looked like rotting corpses, flaps of skin festering with maggots peeled off their bodies and fell on the floor. That's a gross image. They all had stars above their heads. They stared at me with their soulless eyes, agonized by my side. Then I looked down at my hands. I could see every bone. One of my fingers had fallen off. Another was a cancerous stump. I looked up and there was a star above my head. Oh no! So the star is the culprit. Oh no, I was not afraid. These people were my friends, my here to stay for madness and share together Mario. Cuts to the news reporter. These were words found in the notebook of Jonathan Warmer. Jonathan went missing approximately 12 years ago, leaving this as the only clue to his disappearance. After a house search, a Nintendo 64 with chew marks and dried blood on it were found. Jonathan is one of 11 other people that had vanished, leaving similar clues. Sylvia Lancaster, 2024 news reporter. Well, that was an interesting week. Everything escalated so quickly. It was funny. I'm curious about the bite marks, if they have any meaning behind it. I'm guessing that the star or Mario is turning people into like zombies, and that's why there are bite marks everywhere, like on the cartridge, on the message, on the note, sorry. And I wonder what's the meaning behind these cryptic messages. Well, we will never know, because it's totally Crappypasta, even the wiki says. So it wasn't meant to be purposely scary or had any deeper meaning. It was just a fun read, and yeah, I enjoyed it. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my reading and my editing. I put some more effort into it, and I'll see you another day. See ya!